Hey guys, it's Stacia and welcome back to my channel. So today, if you did not know, it will hopefully be 4 days before my readathon MAYsianathon starts. If you don't know, MAYsianathon is a week-long readathon, very chill, very laid back. There are 4 prompts, but you can read as many or as little, whatever you want to read. Our main focus is basically just to focus on Asian authors, representation, things like that. So I will leave all of the information that you can find in the description. We have an Instagram and a Twitter. So if you didn't know, that is going to start on Sunday the 16th, and then it will end on Saturday the 22nd. Today I'm going to give you guys 5 book recs. I could give tons more, but I made and worked very hard on an entire spreadsheet that can also be found linked down below on many books in many genres by many authors, all focused on the prompts. So if you didn't know, our prompts are set in an Asian country, has an Asian character, like Asian rep in the book, by an Asian author, and then recommended by an Asian friend. So any of these 5 will work for definitely the last prompt, recommended by an Asian friend, but all of them I believe will work with all the prompts or most of the prompts. So these 5 books, 3 of them are series and then 2 are like standalones, but they're all 5 different genres because I kind of wanted to recommend like a wide range instead of just contemporaries or just like, you know, whatever. So the first thing that I will actually recommend to you will come to no surprise, I guess, if you actually know me. It's actually going to be a manga, and that is the Death Note manga. I have the black editions, so they technically have 2 volumes in one book. There are 6 books in the black edition. So here's the first one. So obviously it has volumes 1 and 2 in the black edition. So this is Death Note. Death Note, if you don't know, there's also an anime which is good, but I have not watched the movie and I would recommend not watching it because I heard it's not great. Anyways, this series, book, whatever you want to call it, it's about this kid named Light. He's super smart in his school to the point where he's kind of just bored. One day he is walking out of school and about to go home, and he finds a death note. And a death note is basically a notebook used by the Shinigami, which is the death gods. And basically, if you write the name of a person in there, they will die, basically. So there's like a quick little run through on kind of what it looks like, but I love this one. I've seen it classified as like a horror manga, so I guess it's considered horror. It's not really scary, so I'm not sure if you would classify it as horror, but that's what it's mainly tagged as. I would definitely recommend this if you do sort of like, it's not really like a dark academia, but it's definitely like a dark book. It follows Light as he is trying to, I guess, rid the world of evil. So he's kind of like named himself as like a good person who is just killing these people that are classified as like bad people. Obviously there's like a morale, I guess, like fight going on in his head. Is what he's doing actually good, or like what's going on there? But I definitely recommend these. It's a manga, so like really quick to read. If you don't know how to read a manga, in these they actually have like instructions on how to read them, like which box to read first. But yeah, so you technically start from the back, so like it opens up this way like a normal book, but this is the end. You would actually have to start this way, so your front cover is going to the right. You're not opening it like a regular book to the left. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but anyways, this is my first recommendation. I highly recommend. I'm actually kind of tempted to do a reread of the entire series during the MAYsianathon if I have time, but it's not on my official TBR, so we will see. Anyways, this is my first recommendation. I know the black edition is kind of hard to come by now, so they do have like the regular edition of just like volumes 1 through 12 instead of the black edition that has 2 volumes in one book. The next book I'm going to share with you is a literary fiction, and that is Everything I Told You by Celeste Ng. She does have another book, Little Fires Everywhere. I have not read it. I have not read Little Fires Everywhere, so I cannot attest to that one. But Everything I Never Told You was not quite what I expected, but it's a great one. So this actually follows a Chinese American family in the 70s, and in the beginning of the book you find out that Lydia, one of the daughters, is dead. I would definitely say, because this is a literary fiction, it is a bit of a slower read, but it's very insightful. I feel like this book shares a lot about basically being an Asian American in the 70s in the United States. You know, there's definitely like that racism towards Asians, you know, all that stuff. So it basically just follows this family. I wouldn't say like there's not necessarily any like plot, I guess you could say. It basically just follows this family. It alternates timelines of when Lydia is still alive and then after the fact that she's already dead. Her being dead's not a spoiler, it's literally the first line. But it definitely goes over the struggles of their family and learning how to understand each other as well as like themselves. So I feel like this is a very good read if you do like that sort of read, like the whole literary fiction, not necessarily like a plot driven. It has a lot of good commentary in it. So yeah, it just goes through a family and how it's like living, how they are in America. The next one I will recommend is a fantasy. I'm not a big fantasy reader, so it wasn't my favorite book, but I could see why people like it. And that is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. Yeah, so this is basically about a fox shapeshifter. Like she shapeshifts into a fox. Her name is Yumiko. So basically what happens is her temple is like attacked, and so Yumiko is going on an adventure to find answers, and basically, yeah. I'm trying to not spoil anything, so it seems very vague. But along the way, she actually teams up with someone who she's not sure who he is, and he's not really sure who she is. They're just teaming up because they both want to get to the same place. So it kind of is like enemies to lovers kind of vibes. So that's also really nice if people like that. It's an adventure story, so it takes place like in many different towns, but obviously there are people who want her dead and people who don't understand what she is. So she's also dealing with all of that. It's basically just a whole bunch of people going after her while she is actually traveling with the enemy and trying to get where she wants to be. This one is a series and I have not read the second book. So there's this. The next series I will recommend to you guys is a very popular one, but I do highly recommend it if you have not read it yet, and that is the To All the Boys series by Jenny Han. The first one being To All the Boys I Loved Before, the second being To P.S. I Love You, and then the last one, Always and Forever, Laura Jean. If you don't already know what this is, it's a trilogy following a girl named Laura Jean. She's very much like, she keeps to herself. She has like her friend and that's who she sticks with. But every time she has like a major crush in her life, she ends up writing a letter to them. And she kept them in this box where no one has seen it, no one reads it. It's just for her to like let it out, I guess. Until one day, all of her letters get mailed out. So, obviously with all of these love letters being mailed out, she does run into some issues with some people. And yeah, there is a fake dating trope in here, which I love. So there is an extra challenge where you can watch a TV show or movie, and these have been adapted by Netflix. So yes, this is this series. I don't have much to say because I feel like most people know what this is about, but I do highly recommend. It's a very fun trilogy, very quick to get through. For me, I preferred the first movie, second book, and then for the third one, I liked both the movie and the book. So very high praise for both the books and the movies. I feel like they did a very great job on those. But I just feel like Laura Jean, we can kind of relate to her all in a sense that she kind of just keeps to herself. You know, she reads her romance books. She's just in her own little world. So I feel like this could be a great choice to pick if you have not read them yet. They're also YA contemporary and they read really fast. It is like 350 pages, so that's really not the longest book, so it would be easy to get through, especially if you're trying to read one book for all the prompts. That would be 4 prompts for the whole week. The last not necessarily books, but I do have an author recommendation, and it is Lang Leaf. She writes poetry, and I have 3 of her poetry books here. I have Lullabies, The Universe of Us, and Memories. Obviously, I'm a fan. I feel like her poetry collections are really easy to get through, and they definitely do speak to me a lot. They all follow basically different things. They all have different focuses, but I do recommend them all. I have read them all, but I've only tabbed one of them, which was The Universe of Us. I will definitely go back in the future and tab the rest of them. She also does have an actual novel called Sad Girls. Well, I'm not sure what it's about. I haven't actually read this, despite me having bought it a while ago, but I do like her writing style and her poetry. But this is, like I said, an actual novel. It's not like poetry. I don't think it is. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's even written in verse. So it's an actual novel, and she has poetry. So you can take your pick. Like I said, poetry is probably a great option if you're into poetry because they're really fast to get through, and if you're trying to complete all the challenges, then they will go great. All right, so these are basically the 5 books that I have recommended to you guys today. I hope that you guys will be participating with us, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any recommendations, you can either leave them in the comments below, or you could actually go in our link tree. And in there we have a Google Docs where you could submit your recommendations for me to add it to the spreadsheet. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope this was helpful. If you've read any of these and you do recommend them as well, you know, let me know. So that's just some quick recommendations for you guys participating in the MAYsianathon, or if you just want to diverse your reading a little bit more and want to read any of these. They are all at least by Asian authors, so that's great. I think that's all I have to say today. You guys can like, comment, and subscribe down below if you would like to. All of my socials to find me anywhere else, and any information for the MAYsianathon will be in the description below if you are interested in checking any of it out. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!